Renegade TV, where you get your fix on how to fix a Renegade.
What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing the Daystar lift kit. It's actually already installed now. This is the end result, but I'm going to walk y'all through on how to do it. It's going to have multiple clips throughout the process, so there's going to be lots of stops. I'm going to have some notes in there, hopefully. And yeah, if y'all have any questions, just remember, leave a comment, and I'll be able to hopefully answer them for you.
Alright guys, Colton back here again, Chimichanga on Renegade TV. Today we're going to be installing the Daystar 1.5" lift kit. It's a bit of an old kit now. It's been out for I think almost a year, 2 years now with the Renegade. I just haven't had time to do it. First steps in this process of doing this is you're going to open up your hood, and it says to remove the windshield wipers, but I just can't seem to do it and I don't want to break anything. So what I did is I removed this clip. Let me zoom in. That clip right there and that clip over there adjacent, okay? And then on this side as well as the other side, there's gonna be this clip right here, which is what this is. You just gently pop that out and you can pick this whole thing up, and you'll be able to access the inner strut like it says on the top to undo, but that's later on. Now you come over here and you're gonna want to deattach your brake line from right here. Just pull it off. Same goes for up here on this one and back here on this one. And then you want to get your pair of needle nose pliers, and you want to undo this one right here, this little clip, and pop this is the brake, the caliper brake fluid as well. And then we'll come back to you once we get that finished, and we'll start step 2. Alright guys, so I got that disconnected. Just put it off to the side right here. Nothing really important, just make sure you don't disconnect the line itself. Right here is your upper portion of your sway bar and the lower portion that we have to disconnect, that we will be replacing later on in the video. But first, to remove the strut, we must remove it. And you're going to undo this. You're going to put you a, I believe it's a T40 Torx bit on the inside right here, and an 18mm open-ended box wrench right here. And this is going to be righty-tighty, lefty-loosey on the nut, and lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. It's the exact opposite to twist on this if you want to counteract that and make it go by faster. It's going to be incredibly tight, and you're going to feel like you're breaking it, but you're not. You might need to get a pry bar. Be right back. Alright guys, got the sway bar disconnected. It was up here and down here. Now we're going to disconnect. I already did the cables. That's what they want you to do in the instructions. And now we're going to disconnect the tie rod from the steering knuckle. And it's this right here. I already took the nut off. You need a 17mm and a little bit of persuasion. That helps everything. But this one's getting stuck compared to the other one, so I'll get back. Alright guys, Mr. Persuasion. Got it broke free. You just gotta be careful not to strip your threads. This moves up and down pretty freely and all around. If you want to remove this first and then detach the back sway bar piece, it'd make it a lot easier, a lot more open for you to go up and down with the wrench, because it's of course behind it, makes it more complicated. But next we're gonna undo this bolt and this bolt, which is right here also and on this side. And they require a 16mm open-ended wrench and a E16 reverse Torx. And you're going to need a pry bar, I'm going to tell you right now, to break this free. If not, you're not going to be able to get it. And I'll get back to you when I'm finished. Alright, these bolts right here, for the knuckle, they are for the steering knuckle. You pop them out, you need a little bit of Mr. Persuasion again. Be careful with that though. And you need to make sure you support it with your legs, because it'll fall out. And it's going to just barely sit right there, and it's down all the way. You don't have to worry about it falling anymore from there. And now we're going to go up top and undo the 3 up there and lower the strut down and put on the spacer. Alright guys, got the strut out, strut assembly. Now we're going to screw these in, and they're the basically like spacers adapter bolts, more or less. And I'm just going to thread it in a little bit. Really hard doing it one-handed. Right before it starts sticking out down here. Okay, and I'm going to put red Loctite on here, screw them down all the way, get you a 16mm wrench and tighten them down all the way, put the spacer on, slide the strut assembly back in the way you took it out. Make sure you put it back inside the knuckle joint first on the wheel hub itself, or it'll be very complicated, and then re-put the bolts in for the top up here. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we got the strut assembly, the wheel stuff, the knuckles all back together, and this piece right here, which is your tie rod. This part right here in particular just wanted to keep spinning. I called the local dealership. This part right here is $189. You want to put a jack down here underneath if it's spinning and put just a little bit of pressure to pick it up and then tighten it back on and it'll just fit like glue. It's perfect. And you only want 41 pounds of pressure, they said, on it. So don't go stupid with it. Just hand tighten it and it should be fine because it's got a lock nut on it. Overall, this whole process has taken me probably about an hour and a half. And I still have to put on the new sway bar, which is what I'm about to do next. From the other side, I learned putting on the sway bar, it's best to put the bottom one on first and put the top one on last, just because you get more control of it. Alright, get back to you soon. Alright guys, got the new sway bar put in. Well, sway bar connection rod. And this is on, everything works. Always just kind of check and turn, make sure everything sounds fine, no grinding. Nothing is grinding. We're going to put the wheel back on, tighten them up to 90 foot-pounds torque, and drop them on the ground and start on the middle drivetrain. Alright guys, so now we're going to drop the drive line, which is actually what I've already done. These little black spacers are what goes in there on each side. I had to go to the hardware store to buy the 10mm by 1.25 pitch by 50mm bolts because my kit didn't come with them. And I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the skid plate underneath here. It should give it still enough space. Make sure you remember how you took that off because this side right here, the divot, is going to go where the muffler is. And yeah, this process was actually a little bit more complicated. It's best to put a jack stand underneath this right here to hold it up while you drop it and lowerly bring it down, or a jack, just lowerly drop it a little bit until you can put the spacers in so you don't drop the drive shaft, because if you drop the drive shaft, you're SOL'd. Alright, gonna put the skid plate back on and we'll get on the rear. Alright guys, so now we're gonna be installing the muffler drops. I did that side already. On this one, what you do is you undo this bolt right here. It's a 13mm socket, and you're gonna be putting this underneath it. It is the M21640 spacer, and you're gonna be putting one of the 8mm bolts and washers. Taking that one out, keep it for just in case you decide to take the lift kit off ever in the future. Be right back. Alright guys, so now we're gonna remove the inner wheel well to lower this big support arm back behind underneath here that goes underneath the vehicle to put the spacers in. Okay, so you're gonna undo, there's gonna be a bolt under here, 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 all along here, even that one, and then the entire thing should pop out. I will tell you, I already done on the other side. It's actually a lot more complicated than it looks. Just don't break anything. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so I removed these bolts from this point right here and this point right here, and what you're going to do is get you a floor jack and support your rear differential, and that's how you're going to lower this down. Make sure you got to keep it aligned though. So I'm going to put the new bolts in for support. You got to do it to all four of them. Slowly lower it, and that's going to keep it aligned, and then drop one, and then do one at a time, and then remove your jack after your differential. Alright? Alright guys, we got them all on. This one, that one, and on equal side. This one proved to be difficult. I had to actually lower the skid plate right below it, because right here, where it connects, that right there was being held up by the skid plate, which prevented the cross arms from dropping. Took me about 3 hours just to figure this out, and talking to the Daystar committee over there. But got that installed. Now we're going to move on to the next part of the instructions and installing the other brackets and replacing them. Alright guys, so we just installed the new brackets for the lower control arm, which is what this is. You're going to have to undo it from the original one right here, and undo these 4 bolts up here, here, back there, and back there, and it'll drop down. You might need to use a hammer to knock it out. They don't really go down all the way, so just be careful, don't force them. Then you're going to go ahead and reinstall the new bracket, just loosely install it, and then fit this one into it. Go ahead and bolt it down, and then finish tightening these bolts down. This is going to be bolted down to 110 foot-pound torque, and these are bolted down to 70. Alright guys, so here we are finished. I actually stripped the other side, had to get a rethreader and do it. I didn't realize, I didn't record this until after I put the wheel well on. The other side's already done, so I'm going to try to give you all a brief over. There's a spacer down here below the brake lines you put on. It lowers the brake lines on both sides. You're going to reattach your brake lines to this. Up here is the other part. It's really self-explanatory if you follow the instructions to do. And there's a box right behind here that you also move. Again, super self-explanatory if you follow the instructions. And yeah, we're going to put the wheels back on now. Everything's good to go. Everything fits. Nothing's rubbing. And if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments. You know, called Daystar. They're a huge help. They helped me a lot through this. I actually gave them a few pointers too that they didn't have on their instructions, like you gotta drop the skid plates and cut off pieces of them and all that other jazz. So again, if you have any questions, call Daystar, leave a comment, I'll see what I can do to help everything. Thanks for watching.
Alright guys, so here we are. The lift kit's done. It's the Daystar 1.5" lift kit for the front and the rear. Throughout the process it took me about 2 days just because I'm not very tech savvy. I screwed up quite a bit. Had to get my dad to help rethread a few things. Overall, it's a pretty simple kit as long as you take your time and be patient. I hope this video was informative for y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. It's going to be a lot more coming. Wheel spacers, tires, rock sliders, and all that other stuff is definitely coming soon in the future. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't like it. I hope you like it. Tell your friends about it. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I'll do my best to help answer them.